In the deep, silent space between stars, the spaceship Starwind moved slowly. It was a small human exploration ship with only 6 crew members. Their job was to map empty regions and study strange signals. On this day, something unexpected happened. Pilot Ravi looked at his screen. A red dot blinked near the edge of the scanner. "Captain Bran," Ravi said. "There's something out there. It's not a rock. It's moving just a little." Captain Bran walked to the control panel. He was a tall man with calm eyes. He stared at the screen and nodded slowly. "Zoom in," he ordered. The screen showed a strange broken object floating in the dark. It looked like a silver pod with blue lights that blinked weakly. "Is it alive?" asked Lena, the ship's medical officer. "I can't tell," Ravi said. "But it's giving off weak life signs, just one." "Could be a trap," said Mick, the security officer. "Or someone needs help." Lena replied. Captain Bran stayed quiet for a moment. Then he said, "Bring it aboard." With great care, the crew used the ship's robotic arms to bring the pod inside. The hangar filled with cold air as the outer door closed. The team rushed down to check the pod. It was smooth and round with glowing lines across its surface. It had strange writing on the side, a language no one knew. Ravi opened it with a careful hand. There was a small hiss as the pod unlocked. Inside, lying still, was a girl, an alien girl. She looked young. Her skin was pale blue, and her long hair floated like silver threads. Her clothes were made of thin, glowing fabric. Her chest moved very slowly, and her eyes were shut. "She's alive," Lena said quickly, "but barely." "Let's get her to the med bay," Captain Bran said, "and be careful." In the medical room, Lena worked fast. She connected strange machines to the girl's body and scanned her with tools. The ship's AI helped her understand the alien's condition. "She's very sick," Lena told the crew. "Her organs are failing. I don't think she can survive long without help." "Can we help?" asked Ravi. "I don't know. Her biology is very different," Lena replied. "But I'll try." Lena stayed by the alien side for many hours. She gave oxygen, balanced the body temperature, and made sure the heart kept beating. She used nanobots to repair some tissues. Still, the alien girl didn't wake up. Then the ship's AI spoke. "Unusual match detected. The alien cells are missing an important enzyme. This enzyme is found in 0.0001% of human DNA." Lena blinked. "Wait, you mean someone on the ship has this enzyme?" "Correct. Medical Officer Lena carries a matching enzyme." Lena stood still for a moment. "If I donate a small sample of my cells, will it help?" "It may improve survival chance by 43%, Captain Bran agreed. "Do it." "She needs help," Lena nodded. She took a tiny amount of her own blood and processed it through a medical filter. The AI combined the human enzyme with a stabilizer and injected it into the alien girl's bloodstream. For a moment, nothing happened. Then, slowly, the lights around her bed began to glow brighter. The girl's skin changed color, becoming brighter and warmer. Her chest rose deeper. Her heartbeat grew stronger. "She's responding," Lena shouted. The crew watched in silence. A minute passed, then 2. Then, the alien girl's eyes opened. Her eyes were soft white, glowing like pearls. She blinked slowly and looked around the room. Her gaze stopped on Lena. She tried to speak but only made a weak sound. Lena leaned closer. "You're safe. You're on a human ship. We helped you." The girl stared into Lena's face. Her lips moved and a whisper came out. She said. "I think that's her name," Ravi said. The girl touched her chest slowly and whispered again. "Ari." "Yes," Lena said with a soft smile. "Ari, that's your name." Suddenly the machines around her beeped. Strange energy readings filled the screen. Ravi frowned. "What's going on?" Lena looked confused. "I don't know. Her body is changing again." There's some kind of energy building inside her. Captain Bran entered the room. Is this dangerous? I don't think so, Lena said. But something unusual is happening. On Ari's skin, glowing. Lines appeared like light tattoos. They formed symbols and patterns. Her body lifted slightly from the bed, floating a few inches in the air. AI, Captain Bran said. Explain this. Alien life form is undergoing a phase shift, unknown cause. Energy source may be related to recent human DNA interaction. Everyone looked at Ari. Her glowing body slowly returned to normal, and she lay back down, breathing deeply. Ravi stepped back. Did we just activate something inside her? Lena's voice was low. I think we did more than save her. For 2 days, the alien girl Ari remained quiet. She spoke little, moved slowly, and spent most of her time in the med bay. Lena stayed close to her, checking her vitals and helping her understand the human ship. Ari was healing. Her skin no longer looked pale, and her breathing had become strong and steady. The glowing marks on her arms had faded, but a soft light still pulsed under her skin like a heartbeat. The crew gave her time. One morning, Ari sat up and looked out of the ship's small window. Stars moved past like tiny rivers of light. Lena entered the room with warm food. You're getting better. Ari nodded slowly. Her voice was quiet but clear. You saved me, Lena smiled. We tried our best. Ari placed her hand over her chest, but something changed. In the ship's control room, Captain Bran sat with Ravi and Mick. They were studying the strange energy readings from Ari's body. Her energy patterns match nothing in our database, Ravi said. It's not just life energy. It's something new. Something growing, Mick added. It's not dangerous but strange. Captain Bran looked thoughtful. She said something changed. Maybe our medicine did more than heal her, Ravi nodded. Lena used her own DNA. Maybe that caused a reaction. They all sat in silence for a moment. Then Bran said, Let's talk to her. The next hour, the whole crew gathered in the meeting room. Ari walked in slowly. Her steps were light. Her eyes glowed gently. She wore a simple, soft robe the humans had made for her. Captain Bran stood and nodded. Ari, thank you for joining us. We want to understand what happened to you and if we can help more. Ari looked at each of them. Then she spoke. I come from a place far from here, she said. My people are the Ellerin. We live among light and air. We were once many. Now we are few. She paused, her eyes looking down. I was born as a seed keeper. It means I carry the last hope of my people. Inside me is the gift to begin life again, if we ever find a safe place. Lena asked gently, Was your ship attacked? Ari nodded. Yes, by those who wanted to end my people forever. I ran. My ship was damaged. I sent a signal, and then darkness came. Captain Bran spoke. We found you. We used human healing methods. But after that, something else began, didn't it? Ari placed her hand on her stomach. Yes, your healing joined with my seed. Something began to grow inside. Something new. Ravi leaned forward. Are you saying? I carry life, Ari said, but not only from the Ellerin. Something human touched it. Now it is both. The room went silent. Mick broke the silence. We didn't mean to. Ari shook her head gently. No, you saved me. You saved the seed. What grows inside is not by force. It is a joining of hope. Lena stepped closer. Are you in danger? Is the baby hurting you? Ari smiled. It is not a baby. Not yet. It is a form of energy, waiting to become something. And no, I am not in danger. I feel stronger. Captain Bran took a deep breath. Then we protect you. Whatever happens. Next, you are part of this crew now. The next few days passed with calm. Ari began to move around the ship. She learned more about humans, how they cooked, played music, and even joked with each other. Juno, the ship's engineer, showed her how to play a small string instrument. Ari touched the strings with careful fingers. "It sings," she said. Softly. Juno laughed. "Yes, like you." The crew taught her words, history, and stories about Earth. In return, Ari spoke of her people, how they sang with light and lived in sky cities, above burning stars. But as Ari walked through the ship, she sometimes stopped and held her stomach. A warm light would glow from within. "It grows," she whispered one evening to Lena. "It listens." Lena placed her hand gently on Ari's. "You're not alone." One night, the ship shook. Red lights flashed in the hallway. Mick ran to the control room. "Captain, we're being scanned." Ravi shouted, "It's a ship huge coming from subspace." Captain Brand stood quickly. "Shields up. Wake the crew." They watched as a large silver ship appeared from the dark. It was shaped like a bird, with wings of crystal. Strange symbols glowed on its side. A voice came through their comms. It was cold and deep. "You carry the Seed Keeper. Return her. She belongs to the Sky Council." The crew stared at each other. Ari entered the control room, her eyes wide. "I know that ship," she said. "They were the ones who chased me. They fear change." Captain Bran asked, "Do they want to harm you?" Ari nodded. "They want to stop the seed before it becomes something new." Captain Bran turned to his crew. "We saved her life. We can't let them take her now." Mick checked the weapons. "We're no match for them in a fight." Ari stepped forward. "Then I will speak to them. They must see what I've become." Bran looked at her with steady eyes. "We'll stand with you." Ari walked to the main screen and touched a small crystal she wore on her neck. Her image appeared before the enemy ship. "I am Ilari of the Ellerin. I carry the seed of our people." But it is no longer only Ellerin. It is more. It is life renewed by hope and the kindness of humans. The enemy ship went silent. Then, the voice returned. "You are changed. The council will decide." And with that, the ship vanished into subspace. Ari turned to the crew. "They will return," Captain Brand said. "Let them come. We'll be ready." And deep inside Ari, the glowing seed pulsed with light. Days passed slowly after the encounter with the strange alien ship. The star wind moved through quiet space once again, but the crew remained alert. Everyone knew the enemy would return. Yet for now, there was peace. Ari spent her days in the garden room, a small space on the ship filled with earth plants. She sat among the soft leaves, listening to the sounds of water and wind recordings. It reminded her of her own home, what little she remembered of it. Inside her, the glowing energy had become stronger. It no longer flickered like a weak light. It now moved with purpose, like a heartbeat. Sometimes, it felt like it was listening to her thoughts. Lena came in carrying a medical tablet. "How do you feel today?" Ari smiled gently. "Like the stars are moving through me. It is not painful, just strange." Lena sat beside her. "The scans show it's developing faster. But not like a baby. It's more like a new kind of life." Ari nodded. "It is both my people and yours. It is not only growing, it is learning." In the engine room, Juno was fixing the ship's power systems when Mick walked in. "We need to talk about what's inside her," Mick said firmly. Juno frowned. "You're not thinking she's dangerous?" "No," Mick replied. "But if the Sky Council sees this as a threat, they'll come back stronger. We should be ready." Juno wiped his hands and looked serious. "Then we defend her. She's part of this crew now. Whatever she carries, it's not a weapon, it's life." Captain Brand later joined them and said, "We need answers. We need to understand what the seed really is before the council returns." That evening, the crew gathered in the meeting room. Ari stood in the center. She looked calm, glowing softly from within. Captain Brand began. Ari, can you tell us more about this seed? Why do they fear it? Ari closed her eyes. The seed was made long ago. My people created it when they saw their time was ending. It is not just a child, it holds memory, language, and soul. It is like planting a new forest from one last tree. Lena asked gently, but now that it's mixed with human life, what will it become? I don't know, Ari said. But I feel its mind. It is learning what it means to feel. To choose. It has both logic and emotion. Mick folded his arms. The council fears it because they cannot control it. Ari nodded. Yes, they fear change. They fear life that chooses its own path. Captain Brand said quietly, then we protect that path. Later, while walking the lower decks, Ari stopped and leaned against the wall. Her body glowed brighter than before. The lights flickered. Juno rushed to her side. Ari? What's happening? I think it's waking, she said, gasping. The I voice echoed through the ship. Energy levels inside subject, Ari rising rapidly. Unknown event. In progress. Lena arrived and helped Ari to the med bay. She placed her in the medical pod and began scans. The glowing inside Ari's body was now forming shapes, circles, lines, patterns of light. They floated just under her skin like moving tattoos. Ari looked at Lena with calm eyes. It wants to speak. Speak? Ari placed her hand on a clear screen beside the bed. A soft light came from her fingers, and strange symbols appeared. Then slowly, the screen translated them. We are awake. We see. We are one and new. The crew watched as the message repeated. Another line appeared. We wish to live. For a moment, no one said anything. Then Captain Brand spoke. It's alive, not just forming. It's already alive inside her. Lena nodded, and it's aware. Mick stepped forward. Then it's more than just a child. It's a whole mind. A new being. Ari smiled, even as her body trembled with the energy. It calls itself Solari. What does that mean? Juno asked. Ari closed her eyes. It means the light between worlds. The next day, the ship received a transmission. A cold voice came through. This is the Sky Council. We come for the Seed Keeper. Surrender her now. Ravi looked at the radar. They've brought more ships, 4 this time. Captain Brand replied, send them a message. He stood firm and said into the mic, we do not surrender life. If you want to talk, we will listen. But Ari stays. The enemy ship replied only with silence. Then a beam of light appeared outside the Starwind. The alien ships were not attacking, but something was coming aboard. Suddenly, a figure appeared in the middle of the ship's hull. Tall, thin, and glowing with cold white energy. Its face was covered in silver, and its voice echoed like ice. I am Alarka, voice of the council. We will judge what you have done. Captain Brand stepped forward, then listened first. Ari walked in, supported by Lena. Her body shone like a star, and the being inside her pulsed with light. Alarka stared. You are changed, Ari nodded. Yes, the seed has become more. It is no longer yours to command, Alarka pointed. You carry danger, Ari stepped forward. No, I carry the future. Alarka raised his hand and the walls shook. But before anything else could happen, the light from Ari's body grew brighter. It covered the room, and everyone froze. A voice came from within her, calm and kind. We are Solari. We wish to speak. The crew stared. Even Alarka stood still. For the first time in ages, the galaxy heard a new voice born of 2 worlds. The room was filled with soft light. It came from Ari, more exactly, from the life growing inside her. The light was warm, like sunlight on calm water. Everyone stood quietly as the voice of Solari spoke again. We are Solari. We are made of 2 worlds. We do not wish to fight. Ilarka, the cold leader from the Sky Council, stood still. His glowing eyes blinked slowly. His voice, deep and smooth, filled the room. You were never meant to speak. You were only meant to carry the memory of the Ellerin, not become something new. Solari answered through Ari's voice. It was soft but powerful, but we were saved. Human care touched us. Now we are awake, and we are alive. We are more than memory, we are future. Ilarka frowned. Future built with humans? They are weak. They change too fast. They destroy what they do not understand. Captain Brand stepped forward. That may be true, but we also protect, we explore. We learn, and we save lives. Ilarka turned to Ward. Bran, you gave her your essence. That was not your right. No, Lena said firmly, stepping beside the captain. It was her choice to live. And now, it's Solari's choice to exist. Ari, still glowing, held her stomach gently. Solari is not only mine now, they belong to both. And they want to help, not harm. For a moment, no one moved. The lights on the ceiling flickered slightly, as if reacting to the energy in the room. Solari's light dimmed, returning to Ari's body. She took a breath and sat down on a nearby bench. Weak but calm. Ilarka looked around the room at the human crew, Captain Bran, Lena, Ravi, Juno, Mick, all standing together, not with fear but with purpose. You are different from what we expected, Ilarka said slowly. You defend what is strange. You accept what is new. Captain Bran nodded. We believe in life, no matter what shape it takes. Ilarka's silver robe shimmered as he turned back to Ari. If Solari is allowed to grow, the Council will lose control. Some may fear this change. Ari lifted her gaze. Change is not death. Change is life becoming better. Ilarka remained silent for a long moment. Then he slowly bowed his head. I will not stop you, but others may try. The Council is not one mind. It is many voices, some louder than mine. The Sky Council ship disappeared the next day, slipping into subspace without firing a shot. They left only a message behind. You have chosen a dangerous path, but it is now yours. The crew of Starwind felt a mix of relief and worry. They had made a stand. But the true test had not yet come. Ari returned to the garden room. Her body was weaker, but the light within her grew stronger. It hummed softly, almost like a song. Lena came to check on her. How are you feeling? Like a flame trying not to burn too bright, Ari replied. Solari is learning very fast. They feel everything, fear, joy, wonder. Do they speak to you? Lena asked. Not with words. With feelings, pictures in my mind. Dreams, Ari said with a gentle smile. Last night they showed me. Earth, oceans, forests, people dancing under lights. Lena smiled. They've never seen Earth. They want to. They want to know everything. In the engine room, Juno worked on improving the ship's defenses. Mick helped him install new shielding. If more Council ships come, Mick said, we need to be ready. Juno nodded. We'll protect her, and Solari. Captain Bran walked in. There's a message from Earth Command. They received our report. They want us to bring Ari home. Mick raised an eyebrow. They want to study her? Bran shook his head. They say they want to help, but we don't know what kind of help that is. Juno looked serious. Maybe Solari shouldn't be Earth's secret either. That evening, the crew sat together in the common room. Ari joined them, wrapped in a warm blanket, her face peaceful. Ravi played soft music. Lena brought warm drinks. No one spoke for a while. Then Captain Brand turned to Ari. If Earth wants to bring you in, it will be for safety. But also, to study what Solari is. Ari looked at the stars through the window. Solari is not a weapon, not a secret. They are light and thought. They are what happens when kindness touches something forgotten. Juno asked, do they want to go to Earth? Ari closed her eyes. They want to see it, but only if they are welcomed. Captain Brand said, then we'll make sure they are. The next morning, something unexpected happened. The ship's eye alerted the crew. Solari is preparing to emerge. The crew rushed to the med bay. Ari lay in the medical bed, surrounded by a glowing shell of light. Her body floated gently above the bed. The glowing marks on her skin became brighter, almost too bright to look at. Lena checked the monitors. Her heart is strong, but her body is changing. Solari is separating. Captain Brand stepped closer. What does that mean? Before anyone could answer, the light burst out. It was not fire, not force. It was soft and warm like a sunrise. From the light, a shape began to form. Floating beside Ari was a small figure shaped like a child, but made of glowing energy. It had no face, no voice, but it moved gently, peacefully. Everyone stood still. Then in their minds, a single message came. Clear, calm, kind. We are Solari. We thank you. Ari's body lowered back to the bed. She opened her eyes slowly, smiling. They are here, she whispered. Born of light and hope. The crew stared at the floating figure, their hearts full of wonder. This was no longer a mission. It was the beginning of something new. Solari floated in the middle of the med bay. The glowing form was peaceful, like a star shaped by gentle hands. It pulsed with soft light, sometimes bright, sometimes quiet, almost like it was breathing. The crew of Starwind stood close but careful, watching with silent wonder. Ari rested on the bed, awake but tired. Her smile was calm. They are not only energy, she said softly. They are alive. They feel everything. Captain Brand nodded slowly. It's like a new kind of life. Not born in the old way, but still full of soul. Lena stepped forward and looked at Solari. Can they understand us? The glowing figure gently floated closer. Its light shimmered. Then a thought entered everyone's mind, not loud, not forced, but soft and clear. We hear you. The voice was not male or female. It was like many voices speaking as one. Everyone felt warm inside, like the sound of a comforting song. Solari spent the next few days exploring the ship. They floated through the hallways, learning about lights, tools, sounds, and even food, though they didn't eat. They loved music the most. Juno played a soft tune one evening, and Solari danced in the air like glowing wind. They don't just move, Juno said. They feel the rhythm. They're more than science, Lena added. They're emotion, thought, curiosity. Ari became stronger each day. She walked more and spent time teaching Solari words and stories. Sometimes they spoke without speaking, just through feelings. I told them about trees, Ari said one day. Now they want to see one, Ravi smiled. Wait till they see Earth. But not everyone outside Starwind was ready. 2 days later, a message came from Earth. Solari is considered a Class X entity. You are ordered to bring it to Moonbase 12 for full study and containment. This is a direct order. The room fell silent. Captain Brand closed the message. They see Solari as a danger. Mick frowned. Not a life, but a subject. Lena shook her head. They're afraid of what they don't understand. Ari looked at Solari. The glowing being dimmed a little, sensing the worry. They are not a weapon, she said. They don't want to harm. Captain Brand nodded. Then, we tell Earth the truth, but we won't let them take Solari against their will. Later that night, the crew met in the common room. Captain Brand stood before them. Earth wants Solari under their control. But we all know Solari is not ours to control. They chose to live. To learn, Ravi spoke up. We could change course. Avoid Moonbase. But for how long? Mick asked. We can't run forever. Lena looked around. Then we tell Earth everything. The real story. Not a report, not numbers. The truth. Ari stepped forward. Let Solari speak. Everyone looked at the glowing being. Solari floated quietly, then gently pulsed. We will speak, if they listen. The next day, the crew set up a ship-wide transmission. It would reach Earth Command, news stations, and public networks across the solar system. A direct message from the ship to the people of Earth. The camera turned on. Captain Brand stood first. We are the crew of Starwind. We found a life one that was dying. We helped it. And what came from that moment is something new. He stepped aside. Ari spoke next. I am Ari, last of the Ellerin Seed Keepers. I carried hope. Now I carry more than that. I carry the future. Then Solari floated forward. Their light glowed bright and beautiful. For a moment, the screen only showed light. Then, a calm voice filled the transmission. We are Solari. We were born not from power, but from kindness. We are made of two peoples. We ask not for control, but for peace. We ask to live. The transmission ended. On Earth, the message was seen by billions. Some were afraid. Some were amazed. Some cried. Many asked questions. And many supported them. Messages returned to Starwind. Not from governments, but from people. Let Solari choose their path. They are not a weapon. They are a child of peace. They are part of us now. Lena read each message to Ari. Solari glowed brighter with each word. They hear us, Ari said with a soft smile. And they care. But not all responses were kind. Another ship appeared one evening. Black and sharp, marked with Earth Defense Force colors. It sent a single message. Surrender the Class X entity or be boarded. Inside Starwind, the crew stood together in the control room. Captain Brand stared at the screen. They didn't come to talk. Solari floated forward. We will not hide. But we will not be taken. Ravi looked at the radar. They're charging. Energy weapons. Ari turned to Solari. Are you strong enough to defend? Solari's voice came like wind through light. We will protect without harm. As the enemy ship fired, a bright field of golden energy burst around Starwind. The beam hit it, but stopped, as if touching a soft shield. No explosion, no damage. Only light. The enemy ship tried again. Same result. No harm. Inside their own ship, the enemy crew stared in shock. Their weapons became useless. Their systems flickered. Then Solari sent a message directly to their screens. We are not your enemy, but we will not be prisoners. You cannot harm what was born from peace. The enemy ship backed off. The captain of that ship sent one last short message. We will report this. Earth will decide. Back on Starwind, the crew breathed in silence. Solari floated gently, soft light dancing around the room. Ari whispered. They are not just life, they are a light for all of us. Captain Brand nodded. Then we follow that light, wherever it leads. And outside the ship, the stars continued to shine. The stars outside the ship were quiet, but inside the Starwind, hearts were full of questions. Solari had stopped a powerful Earth defense ship without fighting. No one was hurt. No systems were broken. Just one message had been sent across the stars. We were born from kindness. We will not be taken. Now, every government, every space station, and every deep space ship knew about Solari. Some were scared. Some were curious. But all of them were watching. Captain Brand sat in the ship's meeting room, looking at the silent screen in front of him. He had just spoken to Earth Command. Again, they still want Solari to come to Earth, he said to the crew. They say they'll use care, but they don't want Solari to choose. They want control, Mick frowned. Same as the Sky Council. Different faces, same fear. Juno nodded. They're afraid of what they don't understand. A being made of human and alien life? That's new. And new things scare people. Ari sat quietly beside Solari, who floated like a glowing flower above the table. She placed a hand over her heart. They still see Solari as a thing, not a person. Solari turned slowly. Their soft light glowed across the room. Then let us show them what we are. Later, the crew gathered in the garden room. Flowers from Earth bloomed in small glass boxes. The green space had always been peaceful, and now Solari moved among the plants with joy. Light from their body made the leaves shine brighter. Lena watched quietly. They make everything warmer. Like the sun itself is alive. Ravi asked, what if we take them somewhere else? A world that is free. A place where no one controls them. Captain Brand looked thoughtful. That's not running away. No, said Ari. That is giving them a home. Solari floated close and gently touched a small tree growing in a pot. The tree glowed softly. A single leaf turned golden. We wish to grow, not in cages, not as secrets, among life. Lena smiled. Then we'll find a place where you can grow. The next day, Starwind changed course. The crew chose a quiet, green planet called Velari 3, a peaceful world with forests, rivers, and no cities. It was not under any council or Earth control. Explorers had visited it, but no one lived there yet. It was the perfect place to begin again. As the ship moved toward the planet, Solari grew brighter each day. Their body changed, growing small arms, legs, and a face. Not human. Not alien. Something new. Ari often spoke with them during this time. You're becoming more like us, she said one evening. We are learning, feeling, becoming, Solari replied. We love what we are. We are thankful. But peace never lasts long. Day before landing on Velari 3, another ship arrived. It was huge, shaped like a long black spear. Symbols from both Earth and the Sky Council were on its sides. A joint task force, a combined power. This was no surprise visit. They sent a message. This is an emergency peace mission. We request to board and take Solari into protective custody. Do not resist. Captain Brand looked around at the crew. They say peace, but they come with weapons. Mick checked the scanners. More than 20 defense drones, armed, ready. Juno whispered, this isn't peace, it's fear. Ari turned to Solari. You don't have to run or hide. You can speak again. Let them see your heart. Solari nodded. Their light pulsed gently. Let them come. We will show them. The boarding team arrived. 3 officers from Earth, 3 from the Sky Council. All in armor, no weapons drawn but hands ready. They entered the Starwind calmly. With practiced steps, Captain Brand met them at the ship's center. You're not here for peace, he said. You're here to silence what you don't understand. One of the Earth officers replied, this being could change the future. We must be careful. Ari stepped forward. You mean control it? The Sky Council officer said, it was never meant to become what it is. Then Solari floated into the room. No anger, no fear, only light. Soft and warm, they spoke in every mind. At once, we are Solari. We were born from a broken seed and a helping hand. We are light and thought. We do not wish to rule. We do not wish to hide. We only wish to live. The officer stood silent. The room seemed warmer, calmer. We know you are afraid. But we are not danger. We are choice. If you stop us, you stop something beautiful. Then something strange happened. The Earth officer lowered her hand from her belt. Her eyes softened. You sound like my daughter, she whispered. When she used to sing before sleep. The Sky Council officer blinked slowly. They feel like my people, and yet not. Captain Brand stepped forward. You came with fear. But now you've seen the truth. Ari added, Solari is not a weapon. They are a voice. A light. A future that belongs to both our kinds. The officers looked at each other. One by one, they lowered their heads. We will return, the Earth officer said. But we will report what we saw, not a danger. A miracle, the council officer nodded. Some may still fear, but some will believe. The boarding team left. Quietly, Dot and Starwind continued its journey. Finally, the ship entered the atmosphere of VLARI-3. Blue skies, green trees, endless land. Solari floated above the open field as the crew stepped onto the soft grass. They looked at the sun, then at the earth, and said with joy, "This is home." Ari smiled through tears. "It is only the beginning." Captain Bran placed a hand on her shoulder. "And what a beginning it is." The planet Vilari-3 was quiet and beautiful. Wide green fields stretched under blue skies. Rivers moved gently across soft land. Birds flew above tall trees, and strange flowers glowed in the shadows. It was a peaceful world, untouched and full of life. The crew of Starwind stood together outside the ship. They had built a small camp near a forest, with solar tents, food stores, and equipment. Their mission had changed long ago from exploration to something greater. Now, they were caretakers of something new. Solari floated above the soft grass, their glowing body calm and peaceful. Their light no longer flickered with fear. It pulsed gently, like a heartbeat shared between stars. Ari stood beside them, breathing in the clean air. "They like it here," she said softly. Lena smiled. "It's a good place for growing." Over the next days, the crew worked together to build a home for Ari and Solari. They placed sensors around the area, checked the water, and planted small gardens. Vilari-3 was rich with natural life, safe and welcoming. Solari explored the forests, touching trees, watching animals, and learning sounds. They didn't speak much, but the crew always felt them nearby. Sometimes Solari shared feelings instead of words: warm joy, peaceful silence, or soft curiosity. Ravi said one day, "It's like they speak through the heart." Ari agreed. They don't just hear. They feel everything around them, even us. One night, under a sky full of stars, the crew sat near a warm fire outside the ship. The flames danced, and soft music played from a small speaker. Solari hovered near the edge of the firelight, glowing quietly. Captain Bran looked up at the sky. "So much has changed. We were just supposed to map stars." Lena added, "Now we're part of something that might change the galaxy." Juno laughed. "No one's going to believe this story back home." Mick smiled. "They won't need to believe. They'll see it themselves one day." Ari looked at Solari. "They will choose when the time is right." The next morning, Solari did something no one expected. They spoke with full voice, gentle, clear, and soft. "We are ready." The crew gathered around. Ari stood close, sensing something important. Captain Bran asked, "Ready for what?" "To begin." Solari's light spread gently into the air. Flowers near the camp bloomed brighter. A small tree beside the ship began to grow faster, leaves turning silver at the edges. The ground glowed in patterns, soft spirals of gold and blue. Lena stared. "What's happening?" Solari answered with calm. "We were born from two peoples. Now we offer something back." Over the next hours, strange but beautiful changes spread around the camp. The air became cleaner. Trees grew taller. New plants appeared near the river, ones no one had planted. Solari was not just a being of energy. They were a bridge, a seed of two worlds, now giving life to a third. Ari watched in wonder. They are shaping the land, not destroying, but healing. Juno touched a tree that shimmered with light. Everything they touch becomes better. Captain Bran looked at Solari. "This is your gift." "It is yours too," Solari replied. "From kindness came life. From life comes light." News from space came later that week. A peaceful message from Earth Command. "We have received many reports. Scientists, leaders, even ordinary people have spoken. The world supports Solari's right to exist. You are not alone. The Sky Council also sent a simple message. Change has come. We choose not to fight it. We will watch and learn. Mick smiled. Looks like they finally understand. Captain Bran nodded. Maybe not fully, but it's a start. A few months passed. The forest grew larger. The camp became a village. More animals came. The river sparkled with light at night. And Solari? They grew too. They now walked on the ground, shaped like a glowing child. They spoke kindly, learned fast, and sang songs with Ari. They helped the crew without being asked. They smiled when others smiled. They listened when people spoke. They were no longer just energy. They were family. One day, Ari walked with Solari through the forest. The trees above moved gently in the breeze. Flowers opened as they passed. Birds sang songs that even Solari tried to echo. Ari asked, "Are you happy?" Solari looked up at her with soft glowing eyes. "We are not alone. We are loved. We are free. Yes, we are happy," she smiled. "Then you have become more than I ever dreamed." Solari took her hand, "And so have you." Back at the camp, the crew gathered for a final group photo. They stood together, Bran, Lena, Ravi, Mick, Juno, Ari, and Solari, a family born from stars, held together by hope. Ravi set the timer on the camera and ran to join them. "Say peace." The picture was taken. Behind them, the forest glowed softly. Stars above shined brightly. Captain Bran looked at his crew, his friends, his new home. "What now?" he asked with a smile. Ari answered, "Now we live." Solari nodded, "Now we grow."